All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. A lot of news. My mic good? Let me make sure my mic is working. Again, a lot of stuff going on. Both presidents met in Busan, South Korea. They reached a deal to ease trade tensions. The deal included reducing tariffs on Chinese imports from 57 to 47%, China delaying rare earth export controls by 1 year and agreeing to buy U.S. soybeans immediately. Rare earths dispute declared settled by the U.S. president, averting a potential 100% tariff hike. Markets didn't really react like we thought they might, with some gains in related stocks, but broader caution persists after Meta, Microsoft, and Google earnings yesterday. Now, you can see Google's actually green. Look at the NASDAQ start to bounce here, though. NASDAQ going up a little bit. Bessent says U.S. President Trump and China President were able to discuss big picture issues. Mood in the room was one of great respect. The president agreed with Chinese President Xi to work to end the infant crisis. I don't know if this is making the market go up or what, but again, Google's elevated today after doing really well, having really good earnings. You see Google's up to almost $300 a share. I think Google might want $300 a share for Alphabet here. Nvidia up to 207s right now in pre-market. The all-time high on Nvidia is at 212, so it's still a little ways away from that, but not that far, to be honest. Gold under 4,000 still hasn't really moved much. Today we have Apple and Amazon earnings going live. Again, Meta down almost 8%. Meta is one of the big ones that's really weighing in on markets today. Meta down almost 8%. Accelerating AI spending offset earnings beat. Microsoft is down about 3%. Cloud growth misses. Higher AI capex flagged. Google, again, strong sales from cloud and AI beat estimates. Nokia, yesterday Nvidia announced the $1 billion stake in AI partnership in Nokia. Earnings reports, we got Eli Lilly, Merck, and some other ones coming out this morning, or already out, I should say. Let me check to make sure. Yeah, we got Eli Lilly, Merck. We got Roblox coming out at 8 a.m. Comcast already out. MasterCard's coming out at 8 a.m. as well. Some other ones, Crocs, Advanced Auto Parts, Shake Shack, Altria, and more. Hershey, Estee Lauder. Still looking at other stuff to potentially go on here, though, so bear with me. Here's the NASDAQ pop here. I don't know if this is Bessent speaking. Bessent says suspension of commerce entity list rule was agreed in exchange for China's rare earth pause. U.S. will integrate shipbuilding with Western allies. U.S. Section 301 measures on China also suspended. The U.S. will suspend entity list restriction for U.S. technology exports for 1 year. Again, U.S. agreed to cut half of its fentanyl-related tariffs on Chinese goods in return for reducing fentanyl precursor chemical flows to the United States. China committed to reducing precursor flow. President and Chinese president for China to start working on that soon. President agreed to cut tariff on China in half. Food in the room between was one of great respect. We're able to discuss big picture issues. This is apparently an interview on Fox Business. We had the Fed meeting. Yesterday, Jerome Powell was definitely more hawkish than a lot of people expected. And we did cut rates 25 basis points, though. We did cut rates 25 basis points, but he was definitely more hawkish than a lot of people expected. He said a rate cut in December is it's not guaranteed. But honestly, that's what he said last month, and then we did cut rates this month. So, we'll see what that means. Marco, Axel, AV, Andre, Plasma, AG, John, K, FL, Pryor, Joseph, Ray, Yay, Alyssa, Crypto, Ash, what's up, guys? Marco, what's up, man? Yeah, so we got some stuff going on this morning. Again, the big news today is Apple, Amazon earnings this afternoon, I should say. Yeah, Chipotle cutting its outlook again. It said persistent economic pressures are hurting its sales. ServiceNow may be doing a stock split. Nvidia again just became the first $5 trillion company. Again, this is about 78 trading days after they disclosed a $4 trillion market capitalization. 78 days later, they hit $5 trillion, became the first ever $5 trillion company according to Dow Jones market data. Again, U.S. and China declare one-year trade truce, which is the big news. I would assume it would have affected markets more, but I think it was already kind of baked in. I think that's why we've been breaking highs every day. And we got kind of a muted reaction. Citigroup also raised Google target price to 343 from 280s. So, yeah, Treasury Secretary Bessent said Japan will be weaning off Russia LNG, the Russian oil. That over time Japan will wean itself off of Russian energy. Same interview. And Nasdaq's reacting favorably here, but it's close enough to its high levels, which are now about 26,400, right around here. This is the new all-time high. Like right around here. So here's all-time highs. Here's the high from yesterday. Nasdaq's still a little red though, but it's actually technically green on the day total. And again, I'm hoping they get a trade deal done today. I know it's low odds, but I'm hoping they get a deal done. Or not a trade deal, the government. I hope they get a government shutdown deal done today. It's low odds, but I'm hoping they do. All right, so just to give you some other updates on Treasury Secretary Bessent, it says China's Xi unilaterally expressed interest in pipeline project in Alaska. It said we finalized the TikTok transfer agreement in Kuala Lumpur talks will move forward in coming weeks. It's all hands on deck for nuclear power. Treasury Secretary Bessent. Yeah, that news came out a couple days ago regarding OpenAI and the I don't know if it's a trillion valuation. I saw the news about OpenAI going public and Microsoft owning 27%. Is it? Yeah, Bessent says China deal signatures will be possibly next week. Again, Fed cut rates 25 basis points yesterday. Powell ended quantitative tightening starting December 1st. But he also said we're not necessarily going to cut rates in December. We'll have to wait and see. We don't have any economic data to really back it up. Shutdowns over markets are going to rip. I don't know. I think markets have ripped during the shutdown. And so, maybe we're going to get a buy rumor sell news event and correct a little bit. Again, I really don't know. Maybe a financial collapse will come soon and everything goes to zero. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. Here, let's do a poll. Are you bullish or bearish today? We're going to keep it easy right now. Bullish or bearish today? Vote on the poll. Let me know if you're biased. Bessent said China would be doing massive amount of farm purchases. We finished the China deal signatures possibly next week. U.S. is behind China on nuclear power, but will catch up. China agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans this year. Said the president had great personal chemistry with Japan's new prime minister. Yeah, vote on the poll. Yeah, he said that last FOMC meeting, and again, we ended up cutting rates yesterday, as expected. That's it. That China again is going to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans this year. Yeah, and shout out to this guy. I got this guy on X. He sent me something yesterday. Let me see what he said. He said something nice. Let me find it. Here it is. Said, yeah, he said, been watching beginner trading for about 2 years, and he has correctly called great decisions every time. He doesn't chase engagement, instead just tells it like it is. It's humility that makes me trust him, and he works hard and is all over this stuff. And to be frank, the guy whom I've never met has positively changed my life more than he will ever know, and that was all for free. He offers a membership thing, which I actually don't. I mean, you can be a member, but you don't get anything for it. Like, there's no special, like, I told people I wouldn't have paywalls behind my content, and I'm gonna stick to it. But he said his free stuff alone is incredibly valuable. There's a couple of you out here who may recall I made a bold prediction about rate cuts over the summer and I was wrong. Guess he wasn't. Beginner trading. Shout out to him. Appreciate the love, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And again, I'm going to say it like I said yesterday. It's not that hard to get it right with rate decisions. Rate decisions are very easy to get right. You know, you just gotta ignore. Again, there's a bunch of people that stream and do all this other stuff that tell you these wild expectations, and they're just trying to get you excited so you watch their stream, right? But they're manipulating you in order to get clicks, and they're not really telling you what's the most probable outcome, right? I told you guys yesterday over and over again, most probable outcome is a 25 basis point cut, and we're probably going to announce an end to quantitative tightening. That's precisely what happened. And so it's not that easy to follow this stuff. You just got to kind of pay attention. You got to ignore the sensationalism that you get with people trying to cover it, because people want your eyes on them, not necessarily on others, and so they're going to say crazy things to make you look right. That's how it goes. I think that's why we get so many people making these wild predictions, like, hey, we're going to cut 50. No, we're not. You know, hey, we're going to pause. No, we're not. Hey, we're going to raise rates. No, we're not. You know, it's really easy. It's not even like I'm super skilled. This is just, honestly, if you understand what to look for, it's easy. Yeah, we do it. We did get deals on the trade deal. The deals specifically were that the U.S. is reducing tariffs on Chinese imports from 57 to 47%. Fentanyl-related tariffs are cut to 10%. China's delaying rare earth export controls by 1 year and agreeing to buy U.S. soybeans immediately, and rare earth dispute declared settled by the U.S. president, averting a 100% tariff hike. And markets haven't really reacted. You can see some of the updates right here. Like right here in big yellow letters. You can kind of see some of them. Caps in their titles, bro. That's just a standard YouTube thing. Everybody uses caps in their titles, bro. That's like literally, I would say, at least 90% of people are going to use caps in their titles. At least some caps. You're upset about that, dude. You know, you got to be fun at barbecues, brother. Powell tries to be hawkish about December rate cuts as it's his jid. Yeah, I mean, he wants to be balanced is what he wants. You know, at this point in time, even if we look at the odds here, the odds are still 71% odds of a rate cut. And so I'd take those odds all day. 71%. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, like I always say, but 71% odds that we're going to cut rates 25 basis points again in December. Now, this is subject to change. It just depends on if we get economic data to sway it. Like, do we get economic data to sway it? I don't know. It depends on if the government resumes. A lot of people think the government's going to, you know, stay closed. I hope they're wrong, and I hope we resume today, but I don't know. Some people think we might get a deal done today. Tomorrow is the pressure pointing day, the expiry. So Powell ended QT and hinted QE. The market goes bullish on QE. Don't fight the Fed bull market, just like don't fight the Fed bull run. 1st of December gives markets time to make moves beforehand. Yeah, we'll see what happens today. Again, we still got big tech earnings this afternoon. Again, Amazon and Apple earnings this afternoon. Big earnings. Those are big swings, big markets. Amazon and Apple are some of the most heavily weighted stocks in markets. So we also have Coinbase, Reddit, MicroStrategy, Western Digital, and more. So, big day. Big day. See what happens. Besson's still speaking. Yeah, Besson said the shutdown is starting to eat into the United States economy. Looking at our poll, we did a poll here this morning. 60% are bullish, 40% are bearish. Yeah. Oh no, John's using caps in his titles. Like, come on now. People just get mad. That's alright. I'm not talking about people who make titles. I'm talking about people who tell you that we're going to cut rates 50 basis points yesterday. People that tell you that we're going to pause yesterday. People that tell you we're going to raise rates yesterday. Those are people you need to be aware. Like, those are people you need to very clearly watch out for, because they don't really understand, is what it is. They just don't understand. And watching somebody that doesn't really understand. Both leaders became very friendly after the summit. Yeah, good. Hopefully they are friendly. I'd rather them be. One thing that can negatively impact markets is unfriendly dynamic. Look at Meta. Meta's one to watch. Meta dropped drastically. Meta had a very big EPS miss, but they said it was from a one-time charge. I think it was about $15 billion from their earnings report. The Meta reacted negatively here. You can see the big drop from 750 down to 680s here. Meta ended up posting, if we take a look at the actual numbers Meta posted here. Meta ended up posting all right, guys, we are back. Dude, honestly, I'm getting so tired of this computer, bro. I'm gonna have to go buy another one, like, right now. Not happy. Computer sucks, dude. Like the third time in 3 weeks it did this. Let me know if we're back running and everything's all good. We should be back running. Everything should be all good. Yeah, I don't know what's causing it. Again, this computer just glitches out randomly. I could look at the event viewer. Just that showing it lagged. Again, if we take a look at yields, though, one of the things that I didn't talk about this morning is, like, look at yields. Yields are at over almost 4.1% again. Look how much they're up after a hawkish Powell getting baked in. Look at yields. Yields are up to almost 4.1%. That's an increase of yields, man. That's not small necessarily. Hey, where'd my bottom scroll? Property. Get it working. Top 3 best computers. Bro, dude, this is the worst computer ever, bro. I don't know why it does this, dude. Again, it doesn't, like, I've learned how to just, like, okay, restart it quickly, and, like, people will still be here. That's cool. But, man, dude. I try to look at system logs. This time it didn't even do anything for system logs. Like, we didn't even have a system log this time. Probably some stupid Windows update. We'll figure it out. All right, let me get the charts back up here. I got you guys. But yeah, look at yields. Yields are up right now. They're almost at 4.1% today, dude. Yields are elevated. I haven't even really looked at my stock portfolio this morning. I'll check it out. All right, we're back in here though. We got it up. I did just get this PC. Not an old PC. Like, I did just get this thing. Again, that's what's crazy about it, is that PC's relatively new. It needs to do better, bro. It needs to do better. Nasdaq's starting to edge higher here, though. Again, gold's still under 4,000. Here's IBM, man. I've been watching that. Where's Oracle at? Oracle at 275s. But I think this one's like a ROG. It's got plenty of RAM. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. That's plenty. Actually, no, it's the same error that we've been getting here. Yeah, I wonder when pullback would also be nice. No, it's not a server internet issue. Like, you guys don't see what happens on my end. Right, what happens on my end when these freezes happen is that my whole monitors freeze. My computer makes a noise. I can hear the fans and the jets kick on in my computer. Could be an overheating issue, I guess. But whatever's going on, it's happened over and over again. It might be Windows forcing updates again, though, really. Alright, guys. Yeah, we're working fine now, but... yeah, we're here. Alright, Nasdaq's starting to pop up here. Again, US and China did get a deal done. Markets are kind of unmuted. They're kind of muted from this, though. They're not really moving here from this report. Yeah, U.S. Energy Secretary Wright says U.S. could step in if China buys less energy from Russia. That's not memory. I've got enough RAM here to support this thing. Yeah, so apparently I'm asking this. Apparently Windows forced an update early this morning. Again. All right, Nasdaq started to creep back up. Again, remember, this high right here, this 26,310 was the high from yesterday. Bitcoin down under 110s yesterday on a more hawkish Powell. Hey, nice cap. Farmer, Tyler, James. Yeah, but it's not like after it updates fine. It's not it forcing updates that's the problem. It's that it does updates and then it's unstable afterward. All right, guys. I'm also realizing, where did my scroller go, dude? The way to reset this. Yeah, I'll have to go get my scroller back here. Again, the big story today is Amazon Apple earnings for sure. I got the S&P, NASDAQ, Euro, Bitcoin here. Let me check the. Here it is. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my ticker today. That's all right. I'll have to, whatever the computer did. Transition this to the bottom. There we go. Tesla's looking good. Yeah, Nvidia again up to 207s. Tesla sitting at 459s. And y'all can mention some stocks and I'll take a look at them and tell you what I think. We're at 284s right now for the NASDAQ. Normally high CPU usage. Yeah, gold getting closer to 4,000. Oracle. Here's Bitcoin. Google wants 300. I think Google does want 300. Good earnings yesterday. Positive reaction. It's at 299s and it's pushing up here. I think Google wants. I might buy this dip in the NASDAQ and kind of, see if Google drags it up enough for me to capitalize on it. We had a very green day yesterday in the FOMC meeting. All right, there's the dip. We're going to add to this. We got 2. We'll take up to 4 contracts here. 4. See if Google rebounds back up and retests that level here. Flat. Let's see if we go green now. I want to see if Google bounces at 298, whole dollar, and then retest 300. What I want. Let's see if we actually get it. Yeah, basically AI said that Windows update ran this morning, 6:15. Update overwritten stable ASUS driver with a faulty driver from Microsoft. Created an instability that as soon as this is under any load caused the drop. Everything. Morning in my PC. Dude, these window updates, man. I thought I had it set to they not update. Yeah, I just said no. It asked me if I wanted to install more. I thought I had already set that to no. It almost forced it anyway. Alright, guys, so we're down a little bit here. It's already been a really good week for me, though, and so I'm not going to hold on to this too long. Yesterday, we made hundreds of dollars, to be honest. It's easy to make money yesterday. I want to see if, again, Google's so close to $300, though. I'm being a little stubborn here. I'm going to reduce some of my size just in case this doesn't work. Dropping down. Still giving it a second here. You know, really, I should be watching Microsoft as well, though. Roblox just posted their numbers here. I'll put them up. Meta also files for a 6-part senior note offering. Size wasn't disclosed in an SEC filing. Here's Roblox numbers. They just came out. Yeah, it's just, you know, Windows is just frustrating, man. I'm going to reduce my size a little bit more just for protection reasons. We have 2 left. Goofy bounce. I like the idea, but it's not really playing out effectively so far, so. Very small loss at this point. I don't really like, we rejected right there. Cut that. Yeah, let me pull up Meta and see what Meta's doing. Meta's still very weak. Down to 685 from 750s yesterday, so Meta's still pretty weak. Yeah, one of the good parts about using the green screen is that we can put 4 charts up in the middle here. Microsoft is starting to fight its way back, though. It's at 430s. See if that does anything. And I'm just kind of waiting to see if Google does make another test of this. Chuck Norris installs Windows. Microsoft agree to his terms and conditions. I would trust Chuck Norris over Microsoft right now, to be honest. You know, Chuck Norris probably has less errors. Look at Meta. A lot of stuff still coming down. I want to see what Nvidia's doing here. Here's Google. We're starting to see a dip in pre-market now, after looking like we might go back up and go green on the day. If we actually hold now. Got to bounce right around the 200 exponential. You also see Google start to pop back up. That is still testing these lows. Here's NVIDIA. You see what my actual portfolio is doing today? We're almost completely flat in my portfolio. We're not really doing anything. Chipotle, Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, buy an opportunity. Maybe. Carry trade 2.0. Yeah, I saw the Japanese news. Microsoft is exciting because it was an overreaction downside, giving traders a chance to get in on the low. Analysts digested earnings upgrades to 700 inch, ripping off the lows pre-market. Yeah, I mean, outside of my frustrations with Microsoft forcing updates and making my PC unstable, Microsoft's generally a healthy, like, public company. I like Microsoft as a company publicly. I think it's solid, but yeah, so Meta doing a bond sale. Roblox did post numbers here. Essence said job growth will rebound very strongly. Expect big refunds in Q1 next year. Boost for consumers. He said, I think we're going to have parallel prosperity next year on Main Street and Wall Street. And I'm very optimistic for 2026 growth and inflation. All right, so we are getting a rebound here. I asked an AI, what is the odds the government shutdown ends this week? See what it says. Again, NASDAQ back up here, bouncing around the 200 exponential. Again, the big story of the day is Apple, Amazon earnings. I'll keep saying that. VIX is in set. Where's the VIX at? I'm sure it's low. Yeah, it's at 1580s. Kind of, you know, it's not going to be a big. VIX goes up when markets go down in volatility, right? So the VIX is not going to be like super elevated right now. It's just not. Yeah, Microsoft, again, healthy long-term company for sure. Short-term, you don't know what's going to happen, but like I said, I generally like Microsoft. All right, guys, NASDAQ's creeping up. Google at 299 still. Google looks like it wants $300 a share. It's very close. I think the S&P might want 7,000. I think the S&P's close to 7,000. If we get good, you know, tech earnings, maybe it'll boost it up there. No, I got the VIX right now at 15.8, which is low. That's low for the VIX. I mean, the markets are up around all-time highs. The VIX is not going to be super elevated when markets are low, or when markets are high like that. It's just not. Chipotle long-term. What's your favorite long-term stock, guys? Let's talk about it. What's your favorite long-term stock? Chipotle down significantly. Yeah, if you look at the bottom here, you can kind of see the U.S. president, Chinese president met overnight. Essentially got a deal done. It's not signed yet, though, is my only hiccup in it. NVIDIA, Circle, Chipotle. SoFi, Microsoft, Tesla, Intel, Nvidia and Lumen, Netflix. Yeah. I don't dislike most of those. I like Netflix. Although I do think like Netflix is subject to change. Like dynamic could always change for Netflix long term, but short term obviously it's pretty healthy. All right, we got another dip here. Look at the dip in the Nasdaq. I'm still waiting for the government shutdown to end. Yeah, right now the odds for the government shutdown, only 1% think it's going to end today. 9% think it might end any time between October 31st, which is tomorrow, and November 3rd. 21% think November 4th through the 7th, which would be next week. What did I just do here, bro? What did I just do? Hold on. This window's happening again here. Oh, sorry, guys. Let me fix my green screen. I'm just wondering if it's the light. I just thought about it. Maybe one of the things making it like I have this light, this light that I'm using here. Maybe that's affecting my computer. You know, maybe I'll just leave it like this. Again, yields, guys, still pretty high today. They're almost to 4.1% this morning. Look at yields, almost to 4.1%. Rate cut odds are about 71% the last time I looked at it. 71%. Where's the chat? There it is. Okay, I found it. Yeah, Bitcoin's still down though, guys. Bitcoin's still down. You know, Meta's down too. Bitcoin. Right. AI did those. No, that's basically the poly market data. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna say excluding. Let's ask it the same question. Excluding those odds from poly market, when do you think shutdown will end? Calculate it yourself based on history, current events, and recent updates. Make it as accurate as you can. But don't include poly market for odds makers. Let's ask it. All right, Nasdaq at 250 here. Google almost to 300 right now. Look at Google. Bitcoin again 109s. I don't think we have any data today. If we didn't have the shutdown, we'd be getting GDP. If we did not have the government shutdown, we'd be getting GDP today. We don't have GDP today, fortunately. And then tomorrow, if it wasn't the shutdown, we'd be getting PCE inflation data, but we don't have PCE inflation data today either. So most things are still delayed. GDP delayed. PCE inflation delayed. Bowman said to speak at 9:55. We'll see if she says anything good. Now, next week, we do have some stuff going on here. Just to put this into perspective. We've got the ADP employment report, weekly employment report, coming out Tuesday next week. Give us a first look at jobs. We got non-farm employment change data 8:15 Wednesday. ISM services Wednesday. And so we got some stuff going on. But again, we would have had the employment report next week. If, This is what I know about the government shutdown. All right. This is what I do know about the government shutdown. All right. One thing I know is that it's going to be before Thanksgiving, at least. Why? Because they're not going to let people go without their SNAP, their food stuff through Thanksgiving. That's just not going to freaking happen. They're going to have so much public pressure to end the shutdown before then. That's just not going to happen. And so it's going to be sometime before then. So it's less than a month. Hopefully it's sooner than later. Government's still shut down. It's day 30th, government shutdown. The GOP will change the Senate rules. So you think they're going to go with the nuclear option? And just change it to a simple majority and end the shutdown like that? It's possible. It'll be the first time in history they've done that for a budget dispute. But it's possible. If they're going to do it, they might as well do it now, though. Like the Jays are going to win the World Series, huh? If they get one more? Good. I want the Jays to win. I like Shohei Ohtani. I like Freddie Freeman. But I want to see Vlad win it. Dodgers won last year, bro. Let Vlad get his championship, you know? Yeah, Google. $299.80 now the highs. Almost at $300 a share. Gold's still under 4,000, but it's getting very close to 4,000. And again, the big news today is that both U.S. and China leaders and presidents met in Busan, reaching a deal to ease trade tensions. Rare earth dispute declared settled, averting a potential shutdown, or a potential 100% tariff hike, I mean. Yeah, Thanksgiving's after 35 days. 35 days is not that far away. We're on day 30 right now. So just to put this into perspective, 35 days. Today's day 30. Tomorrow's day 31. Saturday's the day 32. Sunday's day 33. Monday's day 34. Tuesday next week's day 35 of the government shutdown. And so Tuesday next week is Tuesday, November 4th is day 35 of this government shutdown. 31 days in October plus 4 days in November. That's 35 days. And so if we last until next Wednesday, a little bit less than a week, it will effectively be the longest shutdown in history. Yeah, we didn't really get a big reaction. We got the China news, which was good. We didn't really get a big reaction. There's no hard signatures done, though. Bro, I keep asking some of these AI systems to calculate the odds, and it keeps like breaking as I do it. Bitcoin pullback and bounce off of 89,000. That's a big pullback. Longest is the goal, marketing content. I mean, I don't know. Let me know in chat right now. You rooting for the Dodgers or the Jays, or you just don't care about baseball? It's okay if you don't care about baseball. There's a lot of sports I don't care about. Soccer. But I did watch Ted Lasso one time. Almost got into soccer. One time I was passing through the channels. I was like, should I tune into the soccer game? And I actually considered it for a second. And then I was just kind of like, nah. Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to tune in. Nothing's going to happen for like 30, 40 minutes. You know? All right, NASDAQ coming down a little bit here. MasterCard just posted earnings here. NVIDIA says discussions between the U.S. and China are in the hands of U.S. President Trump. MasterCard also just reported numbers here. Here's MasterCard's numbers right here. Don't care. Fair. Dodgers, Shohei. Jays, USA. Soccer sucks. Baseball's boring. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Sean, I watch like cliff notes of what goes on Yeah, dude. Honestly, it doesn't want to give me this answer. I watch cliff notes from most of the games. There's too many baseball games to keep track of, like, or to watch all of them. And so I'm kind of like you. Like, I will track who's winning. If it's a good game, I'll watch it, and then I'll watch the World Series. You know, like that's essentially me. I mean, the China deal was okay. There's no hard signatures done, though, is the problem with me. Like, there's no hard signatures done. And so I'm a skeptical person. I want to see signatures. NVIDIA says it is absolutely possible for the company to be larger than it is now regarding NVIDIA. MasterCard posted earnings. Hangover posted earnings. MasterCard ended up posting 438 versus 431 expected, 8.6 billion versus 8.52 billion expected, purchase volume of 2.28 trillion, expected 2.27 trillion, cross-border volumes up 15%. Let's take a look at MasterCard here. What's MasterCard? MA? Yeah. MasterCard not really reacting to earnings here. They just posted them 4 minutes ago. Nothing really is coming out. What's dragging the NASDAQ down right now? Look at Bitcoin fall. There's Meta. Look at Meta. Meta's still falling here, guys. Meta's still dropping. All right, so AI finally gave me an answer. It took about an hour to give it to me, but AI said, based on historical patterns of the U.S. government shutdowns, the current political dynamics, and the latest developments as of today, I estimate the shutdown will end around November 7th, making it approximately 38 days long and the longest on record. Shutdowns have varied since the 1970s in length, but recent ones driven by partisan divides like the current impasse over funding, including SNAP benefits, ACA, and broader appropriations, tend to last longer. 2018-2019 lasted 35 days, ending due to mounting public pressure from air travel disruptions and economic fallout. 2013 was 16 days, bipartisan negotiations amid polling backlash. And 96 shutdown totaled 26 days across 2 phases, 5 days and 21 days, including when the economic impacts and holiday timing forced a compromise. Shorter shutdowns averaged 1 to 3 days and were often technical lapses rather than ideological battles. SNAP benefits expire November 1st, which is Saturday, prompting a lawsuit. Air traffic controllers missed paychecks, leading to flight delays. Military pay is secured for October 30th. The broader work furloughs affect 800,000 employees. ACA open enrollment begins November 1st, highlighting premium hikes without extending subsidies. New SIBO report estimates 7 to 14 billion in GDP losses. Canceled data releases, creating uncertainty for Fed's December decision. Again, Powell yesterday said it's not a guarantee. Look at the NASDAQ breakdown here. We're now under the 200 exponential. Starting to go a little red on the day, actually. I still think we're technically green on the day, though, right? No, yeah, we're technically green in the NASDAQ. What about the S&P? S&P just went red. The S&P actually just went negative here. Here's the S&P. Previous closing price is somewhere along these lines. Let me find it. Yeah, look at the S&P. Just went technically red on the day here. Here's the previous closing price at 69.18. When do you guys think the S&P will break 7,000? Yeah, AI did agree with you here. I don't know. Like, I can respect soccer. Here's what it is. Okay. Look at the S&P breakdown. Hold on. Let me see if there's any news causing these drops. I see Jensen speaking. Look at the S&P. This is NVIDIA down to 205. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA, Meta, Microsoft, Google. Google got 299.82s here. Canada PM Carney is going to meet with Chinese president at 16 on Friday in South Korea. Look at these drops. Now, I think it's going to be before Thanksgiving. NASDAQ flushing down here, chat. I got our scroller back to the bottom of the screen here. That's good. But I gotta make sure it's small enough to actually, like, I can mess with this some more. All right, guys, look at the NASDAQ flush down here. Again, the S&P's breaking down right now. A lot of stuff's going red on the day here as we speak. Look at this drop, still dropping here. Wow. Look at this turn of events right now, guys. Wow, the drop. NASDAQ's still coming down here. Starting to retrace a little bit, but man. The scroller too fast, man. Look at the drop here. Hold on, let me see. There's got to be some type of catalyst going on here that's affecting things. Rolling a little bit too quickly for me. Slow that down a little bit. Man, look at the S&P here, dude. Yeah, NVIDIA CEO says this is very likely going to be the largest tech industry in the world's ever known. Now, taking a look at this, this is mostly NVIDIA falling here. NVIDIA's dipping down to 205s, and Google's pulling back a little bit. If we look at Meta, Meta's still falling down to 680, still dragging the NASDAQ down, S&P down. And so, this is tech earnings, NVIDIA, Meta. Yeah, it's Meta. Meta's breaking lows, dragging tech down. Meta's starting to rebound a little bit here. S&P breaking down, gold moving up, NVIDIA breaking down here as well. NVIDIA CEO said this is very likely going to be the largest tech industry in the world's ever known. That it's absolutely possible for company to be larger than it is now. But again, these are mostly old. This is stock related drops. NASDAQ's starting to rebound a little bit. See if NVIDIA and Meta rebound with it. What about Microsoft? What's Microsoft doing here? Microsoft's kind of edging higher. Bitcoin still dropping. Yeah, I mean, of course NVIDIA CEO is going to say positive things. What's he going to say? Our company sucks? Of course not. He's going to say, hey, this is the greatest company ever, you know? I can't get mad. If I was him, I'd say the same thing. And it might be. I don't know. About 5 borrowers poised to sell U.S. investment grade bonds on Thursday today, according to Bloomberg. Engaged Capital calls on Blackline to announce expiration of strategic alternatives and urges BL board to hire qualified advisors and initiate good faith negotiations with SAP. As that coming back a little bit, again, Meta's starting to rebound back up. Meta dipped all the way to 680s. Meta might be worth buying. You know what? We'll give it a try here. It's a risky buy though, but we'll buy it a little bit right here. What's a little bit in this position? I would say what? Very small amount. All right, we just jumped in a little bit on Meta. We'll add a little bit more if we dip. It's down so much, dude. It's down to 680s. I gotta at least try. Right? Don't copy me. I'm not an investment professional, guys. I'm not liable if you lose money. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. Do not copy me. I don't even claim to be a good trader. Don't copy me. You know, sometimes I have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say or do. Don't do it. Meta looks to raise at least 25 billion from bond sales. I need a 5% rebound on Meta today. I bought a little bit of it. We'll see how it goes. Plan is to hold it. I'll be here streaming Apple and Amazon earnings anyway, and so if we get too much volatility, I can cut it from that. Just be careful because Amazon and Apple earnings are going to move things this afternoon as well, right? So there's risks in holding tech short term. Just to clarify, just so you understand the risks here, there's risks in holding tech short term. What I'm essentially betting is that this bounces back, though. All right, anything else worth a buy? Microsoft might be interesting too, but I have a, you know, Microsoft for me is principle. I'm not buying you right now, short term. Long term, I like Microsoft long term. Yeah, I might just day trade this. I don't know. All right, NASDAQ coming back down here. Not Meta doing it either. And here's Bitcoin, here's S&P, here's Nvidia on the top right. That is pumping a bit. Yeah, it's up a little bit. Tesla recalls over 6,000 Cybertrucks due to light bar issue. Yeah, Tesla's at 450s. Nvidia's kind of fighting its way back up here. Nvidia was at 207s earlier, dipped all the way down to 205s now. But look, so something's dropping the S&P and the NASDAQ. It's not really Meta right now. Meta's up, Nvidia's up. Something's dragging this down here. Visa, MasterCard, Walmart, Apple, Amazon. Amazon maybe, Netflix, Google. Netflix is dropping. I don't know why. Tesla's down a little bit as well. AMD maybe is down too. If we take a look at AMD here, AMD's dropping down to 261.50s. Yeah, it could be Netflix. I'm looking at it. Netflix dropped. AMD's down too. Need correction in this market? We'll see. Do we sell off into the opening bell? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think? What happens at the opening bell today? Bull or bear? The bulls or bears going to be in control today. Here, let me move this a little bit closer to the edge here, just to make it cleaner. Okay, that's better. But yeah, you can see Netflix right here. Netflix dropping some. Not the most liquid drop, but it is dropping some here. Let me get this other way. There we go. And the NASDAQ is following it too. Yeah, look at the NASDAQ fall here. So bull, bear, sell-off. Yields right now skyrocketing. Yeah, yields are up to almost 4%, 4.1% the last time I looked at them. They're currently over 4.1%. So yields are popping up again. Maybe some hawkish action getting baked into yields right now. Look at yields and how hawkish they've been since Powell spoke yesterday. So look at yield spike here. And again, yields and interest rates follow each other. Again, Meta's dipping down. I might add a little bit more to it here. All right, we just doubled our size. And we're not going to add any more to this. It's relatively small. Yeah, Meta's at lows. Kind of retracing back up. Okay, I'm probably going to sell Meta right here. I don't like this price action. Let's took half of it back off. Meta's testing lows again. I'm not really trying to. I might hold this last position in it just to see. But I mean, Halloween doesn't really impact markets, I would say. Not really. Tomorrow it's more so the snap deadline, I think. Well, yeah, the VIX is going to be up right now because the NASDAQ's going down, right? So the VIX over the last 20 minutes is going to be higher. Why? Because the NASDAQ's going down. You know, VIX goes up when NASDAQ decreases. That's what the VIX does. I don't know. This buy-up did... this drop in Meta did get bought up at the bottom at 679, so we'll see what happens there. AMD still dropping, though. Like, look at AMD. AMD's down to 261s here. So AMD's still falling. Handy stocks. Nah. That dynamic's probably already baked into everything realistically, you know. If that dynamic did work, buying candy during Halloween, it's probably already baked in. You know. Am I gonna buy turkey stocks during Thanksgiving too? Let me know your top 3 best turkey stocks in the world right now. Let me know what they are. I might not even know the top 1 turkey stocks. I don't even know that there's such a thing as turkey stocks. Alright, guys, look at the NASDAQ fall here. Again, Nvidia down to 205s. Meta's holding a little bit, which is good. I kept that little piece in there. Amazon's also breaking down right now too, guys. So Amazon's been flushing down too. It's what I see dropping in tech. Amazon, down. Netflix, down. Google, pulling back. Nvidia, dropping. AMD, down. Microsoft, not really down that much. Microsoft's trying to bounce. Tyson, yeah, that's probably true. Beyond Meat. I asked for turkey, not fake turkey. All right. NASDAQ's still falling here. Look at this drop. Have we dropped enough now? What a drop. Have we dropped enough now? Well, the drops continue here, chat, man. All right, here's 8:30. Again, we don't have any GDP data or anything like that at 8:30. We can see how markets and algorithms move to the 8:30 like cut, but we don't have any data coming out right now at 8:30, unfortunately. That is screwed. It seems they can't figure out how to profit from AI. Bro, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say it again. AI is gonna make money through data. Obviously make money through data. How do search engines make money? They make money through data. How is AI going to make money? Probably more efficiently than search engines. Through data. What's going to happen? It doesn't matter what they say right now. It might take them a little time, but if they have a good AI system, it's going to make money. Through data. AMD still breaking down though. Look at AMD here. 260s. Nvidia falling down. This is mostly a microchip stock. Or microchip drop, I think. But let me make sure. Canada payrolls came in at 3.3. Previous was 21.6. AMD, Nvidia still dropping pretty fast here. Amazon down, Netflix down, Tesla down. Just glad I'm not in anything on your screen. Yeah, these drops are a little scary here. Like, I bought Meta, doubled my size, and then about 30 seconds later took that size but right back off as soon as I saw this volatility. So I didn't actually lose that much. I think I lost some for sure. But, and Meta is honestly one of the ones holding better during these drops. Like, look at this. This is Nvidia. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia just broke down to 204.30s right now. 204.30s. Again, AMD 260 right now. 204s for Nvidia. AMD 260s. Which OpenAI news? There's a lot of OpenAI news right now, to be honest. It depends on which one you're talking about. You talking about the OpenAI Microsoft news? In which Microsoft owns like a 27% stake in OpenAI, and OpenAI is going to be going public at a crazy valuation. Talking about that one? That's pretty big news. AMD down to 260s. Nvidia has been falling all morning. Tesla down. Amazon down. Netflix down. Yeah, Google's up big. AMD's down. Nvidia's down. Netflix is down. A bunch of Mag 7 stocks are down. Apple's down. Apple's green on the day, just to clarify, but it's down a little bit today. All right, here's Nvidia rebounding back up. Will we get an FOMC hangover today? Chipotle down, Carvana down. Yeah, they had numbers yesterday. Carvana down big from earnings yesterday. Chipotle is down big from earnings as well. So I'm not going to tell you to sell anything. I don't know. Yeah, MasterCard had earnings down slightly. Here's a rebound in the NASDAQ here. Let's see if this holds. Nvidia popping back up a little bit. All right, guys, we're bouncing back a little bit here, a little bit. I don't know what I want to do with this here. I mean, we're kind of extended on the downside maybe a little bit now, but so risky. Yeah, it's been a pretty good trading time for me here. I'll show you guys some of my stats. Again, here's the last week in one of my accounts. I can show you all of my accounts. I think I lost some on another account yesterday, but let's see, 1, 2, that's 5. That's 80% daily accuracy in this one over the last week. 4 out of 5 green days. Here's the actual profit graph in it. Nice. We'll take that. Green is good. Here's the other one. These have been much larger gains. And this one over the last week, no losing days. That's good. You can see the graph here. A little bit quieter of a graph, but some big days thrown in here. You know. The other one, we had a slight losing day yesterday. Still doing good. And we're up thousands. And you take everything into account this week. Look, here's that one. 3 out of 4. Roughly 75% accuracy. And then this last one here. 4 out of 4 green days. So out of all my... Wait. Is that true? Out of all my funded accounts, I've only had 1 losing day this week in all of them. In one account. 1 losing day. Let's see. That's 1 losing day. 2 losing days. Yeah. Okay. So I've had 2 losing days total out of 4 accounts in the last week. 2 of the accounts I haven't had any losing days. And then 2 of the accounts I've had 1 losing day on. So 2 losing days total. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. There's no PDT in futures. I'll put the link up and you can help support the channel. Again, it's just a great way to learn. Most day traders lose money. It's the only sponsor I have. I don't really plug a lot of stuff here. And so it's the only sponsor I have. So again, you can check them out. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. Great way to learn how to day trade. Very similar to day trading equities. No PDT restrictions. $50 a month is your risk for the first one. If you fail, you lose $50. If you pass it, 90% split. That's similar to funding your own account. You can reset funded accounts now. Some of the most reliable payouts in the game here, and I'll put the link up if you want to check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. I get paid by them. Understand all this stuff on screen. Can't guarantee anything. And so confirm it all with them. Not an investment professional. I don't even claim to be a good trader. But check them out. There's the link. I'll pin it to the top. Comcast says broadband environment remains competitive and isn't expected to change anytime soon. Yeah, broadband maybe. But you know your TV services are struggling, Comcast. Let's just be honest here for a second. You missed revenue as well. All right, guys, let's see if the market rebounds here. Meta's back at the lows of the day here, though. I'm going to give Meta a little bit of time. It's a very small position, just to clarify, guys. All right, Meta just cracked lows of the day. 679.30s here. Oh, I'm top 3 most bias ever. Definitely top 3 most bias ever. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really react to the China news. We didn't really react much to the China news. Yeah, we didn't really react to the China news. I mean, we had some good deals announced here from the US and China. So export wait, let me make sure. Let me find the full list of what happened. All right, guys, Meta just cracked lows again here. I want to hold on to it, though. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so the president announced the dispute is settled. U.S. will cut Finn-related tariffs on China to 10%, reduce overall tariff rate. China agreed to work very hard to stop it and immediately resume large-scale purchases of U.S. soybeans. And then one of the most important things is the president said all the rare earth issues had been settled with an extendable one-year deal ending the immediate threat to the tech supply chain, which is probably the biggest story here. And I think the president also put out a tweet here. So this is what he said. He said, I quote, this is U.S. President Trump, quote, I had a great meeting with President Xi of China. There is enormous respect between our two countries, and that will only be enhanced with what took place. We agreed on many things with others, even of high importance being very close to resolved. I was extremely honored by the fact that the president of China authorized China to begin the purchase of massive amounts of soybeans, sorghum, and other farm products. Our farmers will be very happy. In fact, as I said once before during my first admin, farmers should immediately go out and buy more land and large tractors. I would like to thank this president for this. Additionally, China has agreed to continue the flow of rare earths, critical minerals, magnets, openly and freely. Very significantly, China has strongly stated that they will work diligently to stop the flow of Finn into our country. This will help the crisis. They also agreed that they will begin purchasing American energy. This will help us in the Finn crisis. Also, China agreed that they will begin the purchase of American energy. In fact, a very large-scale transaction may take place concerning the purchase of oil and gas from the great state of Alaska. A bunch of other stuff, thanking a bunch of people, and he said hundreds of billions of dollars are being brought into our country. Because of them, our nation is strong, respected, and admired again. Best is yet to come, end quote, U.S. President. So that's the news here. That's the news. Amazon and Nvidia still falling here. Nvidia down to 203.50s. So Nvidia down to 203.50s. The question is, do you guys agree with this? Again, I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying I don't. I'm very neutral. Do you guys agree with this? Let me know. NASDAQ still breaking lows of the day here. Hey, man. Bro. Love you, dude. You good? All right. Have a good day, dude. Love you, man. I think the market expected more about AI chips. Market was looking for something to go down. Powell just gave the final answer. All right, NASDAQ still flushing down here. Look at AMD right now. Yeah, again, is this a FOMC hangover? I think that's the story of the day. Is this an FOMC hangover? Oh, no, dude. All right, NASDAQ still heading down here. Look at NVIDIA, though, guys. NVIDIA has fallen all the way down. 207s down to 203s right now. 207s to 203s right now. And the NASDAQ is tumbling down. Look at this drop. AMD dropping, NVIDIA dropping, Meta's testing lows again. Bitcoin's dropping. Here, let me switch sides. The scroller's supposed to go to the end. There we go, that's better. Yeah, look at these drops going on in markets, guys. A lot of stuff flushing down here. Definitely red right now. U.S. Energy Secretary Wright says the U.S. is prepared to sell more oil and natty gas to China. Look at AMD, guys. 58th. Look at NVIDIA. 203s. These are really the tech driving markets down as NVIDIA and AMD. Yeah. I got cash and I want to crash. Put that on a t-shirt, brother. All right, we're starting to rebound a little bit here. Look, here's a small bounce. Do you think this will continue at open or rebound back up? I hope it bounces back up. I'm not necessarily opposed to a small market correction. I would rather a small market correction than a big bull run and then a crash. What's up, chef? Yeah, I think we're just reacting to FOMC and tech yesterday. We had FOMC and tech numbers yesterday. Meta's breaking down. Again, I will sell Meta if it breaks down. I'm gonna use 75 as kind of my line in the sand with it. But the Nasdaq's down significantly here. Nvidia looks like it's fighting its way back up here too. Let's see if it holds. Like I said, we will hold Meta up to a point. If it breaks under 175 or 675, we're going to cut it, which it's right at now. It's pretty small. We never got big size, and I'm glad I took that piece off. There you go. Look at the bounce level at 675. Again, this is a nice little level here. See if it holds. See if this rebound holds here. A lot of stuff's rebounding back up. So I just jumped into a trade. I'm going to add a little bit here, see if we get a pop back up. We've dropped enough. I see some rebounds and other stuff, but I don't know. Nvidia's actually starting to head back down again. We will keep this small. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut at least half of this off. Yeah, I got to cut it. Nvidia is back down to the lows here, unfortunately. Now look at that bounce back up. All right, Nasdaq is popping back up here. Again, Meta's back at my milestone level here. I'll let it test this level and I'll cut it if it doesn't work. Right here. I'd love to see a bounce here on Meta at 675 and a continuation back up. AMD starting to rebound back up, so is Nvidia. Alright, I probably should cut my Meta right here. It's just breaking down too much too early. Amazon's also flushing down into its earnings report. Yeah, so we're out of Meta. Small, not the biggest loss, but not the worst. You don't love to see it, but I've made so much money from swing trades that, like, I have to cut it if it starts to look too weak, and Meta's just breaking down too much here. Meta was probably a little elevated. If we look at Meta here, I remember Meta dropping down to $100. So Meta dropped down to $100 a share. So again, Meta dipped down to $90 a share. And I was pretty skeptical on Meta. I thought fading interest in Facebook, but they kind of rebounded Facebook back up to like a marketplace. Well, we had U.S.-China relations. We didn't get any concrete signatures. That was the problem for me with the news there. No concrete signatures, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I was skeptical of Meta. I wasn't gonna short Meta at $90, but I also didn't necessarily like it. I didn't like buying it either there. In hindsight, I should have bought it. It was at $90 a share. Now Meta's up to 750, so it's just so elevated here. And so, yeah, back down to 673s. This chart will now look like this, where Meta's all the way down to here, 73s. And again, Meta keeps dropping. Nvidia Tech is just falling down this morning. Yeah, if Meta drops to $100, I'm buying it too, obviously. All right, NASDAQ breaking lows again, 26,100 here. Now, I will buy it if we get down to 26K. I think that's a big psychological level. But again, this is driven by NVIDIA here. Look at NVIDIA fall. 202s now. AMD's been rebounding back the last, like, 8 minutes or so. Meta's been fading. NVIDIA's been dropping here. Look at this. Bitcoin's down too. Yeah, I'm waiting to see how this plays out too. My hands are off right now. Fed warns housing market slump could get worse. Yeah, VP to lead aviation roundtable at White House today. All right, guys. The video almost down to 200. Again, I'm watching the NASDAQ around 26K. Yeah, Meta. I don't think it's done. It's probably time to buy Meta. Again, it just dropped a little bit too much for my taste. I still think Meta will probably rebound from this. I don't know when it's going to rebound. But, I'm going to buy a little piece in the market again here. See what happens. We'll add a little bit to it too. All right, let's see if we go green on this one. There we go, we're green. See if it pushes up more. As long as we don't rip down breaking lows, I'll still be green. Again, NVIDIA still looks heavy though, to be honest. I'm long right now, small. But NVIDIA still looks heavy. Did I reduce my size in this? Probably. I'm gonna take a piece off here. And of course, as I say that, it rebounds back. Still green on the day though on this one. There we go. Okay, that confirms that exit a little bit better. Yeah, I gotta cut it here. It's too close to lows. We're still green on the day, just for clarification. But man, I think the risk reward could be good for a buy, but who knows when this is gonna stop. Maybe it'll stop way down here. You know, this level, 26K right here. That level right there, maybe. And there goes Meta popping up. Yeah, looks like I just got faked out a little bit, which is all right. You know, again, I'm still green on the day. We actually had a bunch of good trades. But here's the rebound here. Let's see what's going on. Could just be a... Had a pop back up. Alright, so we did buy the dip here. I don't think y'all could see this. We already took some of it off. We bought the little pullback. I don't like the slam down at all, though. Now what's causing the market to slam down? Let me see. On AMD, Netflix, maybe. Amazon? Microsoft? Google? I think Google's at a bounce level. I'm trying to figure out what's driving the Microsoft down, or the NASDAQ down now. Yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin all the way down to 108s here, looking weak. Is this the bubble bursting? I don't know. It might be. This one up. Main one. Yeah, I just ended up doing poorly on days like where I'm trying to time the bottom, but it just keeps breaking lows. Kind of like the FOMC hangover right now, though, to be honest. Like, we're kind of getting like an FOMC hangover. Trying to see if there's any news breaking, pushing stocks and microchips down. All right, so Senate Majority Leader Thune expects shutdown talks to get, quote, easier after next week. We got the elections in New York, New Jersey, and Virginia influence shutdown stalemate. So, again, he does expect talks to get easier after next week. Next week, bro. After next week, dude. That'll make it last until, at the very least, the 10th. Come on, bro. You can do better than that. All right, NASDAQ at lows again. NASDAQ's still trying to crack lows again. Look at this. Watch Nvidia. Google's also dipping a little bit here too. All right, still breaking down here. Thune's still speaking? Let me make sure. Still flushing down here. We pop up now. All right, so we bought the dip. We got into a little bit of a trade here, and we already took some of the profit off, just to clarify. So the rest is mostly break even. I just want to see if it rebounds more. If it continues flushing, I could buy the dip as well, and we still probably be green on it. I'm buying this a little bit more. A big up wick, so maybe some upward movement. German CPI prelim showed up. All right, we're green. There we go. We'll take some more off up there at the top. Let the rest ride. Finally caught the bottom. Got kind of stubborn with it. We'll hold the rest break even though. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it right there. So we made a decent amount from that trade just now too. We're very green on the day now, but got stubborn with it. Maybe I shouldn't have pressed so hard. Yeah, the 10-year up to over 4.1% right now. At 4.11%. It did decrease. It's just hawkish Powell. Powell came out much more hawkish than expected yesterday. Even though we did cut rates 25 basis points, he said a rate cut in December is not guaranteed. And so you can kind of see this. Yields are spiking on that. Yields and interest rates follow each other. So yields and interest rates. We also had some Tesla news. Tesla scaled back. Robotaxi timeline still faces obstacles according to the information. But yeah, yields are up. Interest rate sentiment is higher. Still pretty likely we're going to cut rates. If we take a look at the Fed watch tool now, 68% probability of a 25 basis point cut in December. So again, this is December. 68% chance, 69% chance of a 25 basis point cut in December as of now here. What do you guys think we're going to do in December? You guys think we're going to cut rates? It's still the most probable thing. People were arguing with me about it yesterday, but it's still the most probable thing. Again, German CPI came out hotter than expected, 2.3%, 0.3% versus 0.2% expected. So hotter than expected German CPI. Yeah, we'll see what happens now. NASDAQ did rebound back. Nvidia's back. Meta's back. Cut most likely, yes, probably the old hawkish rate cut routine. Yeah, he did it last time. Last time he's like, oh, it's not a guarantee we're going to cut rates in November or in October. And then sure enough, yesterday, what do? We cut rates 25 basis points and we ended quantitative tightening starting December 1st. So, it's not necessarily one of those things that you got to worry about like that, I think. I got my stream back to normal, at least. People are worried large rate cuts lead to recessions, but this doesn't feel like a massive blow off in stocks. Large rate cuts can signify panic sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Large rate cuts can sometimes signify reactionary mindset, a panic versus a proactive cut to avoid stuff. You know what I mean? So, again, Tesla has yet to complete the paperwork necessary to start offering robotaxi rides in Arizona and Nevada. Here's Tesla. NASDAQ cracked lows again. Tesla's been breaking down. Nvidia's been breaking down. AMD and other tech have been breaking down. Amazon, Apple, or Amazon, Netflix. A lot of tech's been falling down this morning here. He didn't say they were going to buy treasuries. Not that I didn't remember. When did he say they were going to buy treasuries? I don't think he said it, actually. Did he say it? Maybe I missed it. From my understanding, he said not necessarily. He said, basically, he got one of the questions. And they basically said, hey, is it possible for us to end QT without automatically starting QE? And I think his response was, yeah, it is. Like, basically, when you end QT but don't start QE, you're essentially keeping the balance sheet the same size, right? So you're not expanding it like quantitative easing. You're not reducing it like quantitative tightening. You're keeping the balance sheet the same size in terms of treasuries and MBSs and other debt, right? And so essentially the logic of that is that if you have some bonds expire or mature, I should say, if you have some bonds mature, you just replace them with new bonds, right? And you keep it the same. You don't add more, expanding it. You don't decrease it like QT. You keep it the same. You just replace maturing bonds and maturing assets with new ones, keeping the balance sheet the same size. And that's very, like, that's what he says they're going to do, at least for a period. So yeah, December 1st, quantitative tightening stops. He might have. He said, we're going to allow the mortgage-backed securities to roll off and reinvested in treasuries. All right, I'm checking that now. All right, we're seeing a little bit more resilience in markets here. We're not breaking down. You might be right. Again, I got to check, though. All right, guys, a couple minutes until the opening bell. Let's see what we get. Yeah, look at NVIDIA, Meta holding some support here. The treasuries will be bought back as a natural course of cash flow deficiencies, not as a stimulus. Yeah, that's different than QE for sure. Yeah, I mean, he also could have mentioned it in the context, like I said, of keeping the balance sheet the same size, in which when one bond matures, just as an example to make it simple, if one bond matures, you buy another one and keep the balance sheet the same size that way, right? All right, look at Meta. Meta's back down to 674s. NVIDIA looks like it's trying to fight its way back up to 204s. Tesla's still down. The robotaxi permit news. All right, so one AI system said yes. In his opening statement during the press conference, Jerome Powell announced that the Fed would conclude the reduction of its aggregate security holdings as of December 1st. It would reinvest the proceeds from maturing agency securities into treasury bills. This effectively means starting to buy treasuries to hold the balance sheet steady and normalize its composition after allowing runoff without reinvestment. Right, which is kind of what I just said, you know. Yeah, it's not quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is when the Fed expands their balance sheet by creating online money through money printing and then using that online money to buy up bonds and other stuff, right? That's quantitative easing stimulus. This is just replacing old bonds, maturing bonds with new, right? Technically, it's buying bonds, but it's not necessarily stimulus or quantitative easing. Just it's nuanced, and there's a lot of jargon and stuff you got to understand. But yeah, that's my understanding of it. Maybe I'm wrong though. Yeah, MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Amazon, Apple earnings this afternoon. We're gonna stream it like we always do. You guys red or green today? Let me know. You can spin anything to be bullish or bearish. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Tesla just cracked lows again. Meta's testing lows again. Nvidia's trying to bounce back up. We can look at like AMD here as well. Bitcoin's still fading. Gold, 39.84, still under 4,000 here. Red. Y'all think Bitcoin rebounds sometime soon? All right, gold fighting back up a little bit here. At a stair-stepping, crypto dropping, sailors diluting. I'm bearish, so I should look to trade long. Would that be correct? I mean, I think every trader, at least in one point in their trading career, has taken the logic of, hey, I lose so much. Whatever I want to do, let me just do the opposite and I should win. I don't hate the logic sometimes either, you know, and sometimes you learn not to buy high of the day breakouts for that exact reason. Is because experienced people are selling at the top, not buying at the top. So, Amazon's starting to rebound back up. Nvidia is as well. Here's Amazon. 227. JB? What's that abbreviation mean? What are your top 3 cryptocurrencies? Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, probably. And I'm in. Yeah. The problem is on social media, I've been looking up government shutdown news, and now they're sending me a bunch of political stuff, and I hate it. I don't even like care about it. Both sides are basically like, it's your fault, and then the other side's like, no, it's your fault. That's all you see. It's both of their faults at this point in time, as far as I'm concerned. Huh? I don't care who ends it, who gives. Presume the freaking government. Yahoo Finance just posted, the government shutdown is less than a week away from breaking the record as the longest in history as new signs emerge on Capitol Hill that negotiations could finally be underway. I don't know if I've ever opened up an article so fast. Bro, this better not be clickbait, Yahoo Finance. Is this clickbait, Yahoo Finance? Offered a marked shift this week when he noted new energy for work on bipartisan government appropriations, and even suggested he would be meeting Dems pretty soon to talk about ending the shutdown completely. And it's scheduled to conclude his forum on Thursday. Lawmakers likely head in for another weekend of shutdown. Here's the longest shutdowns in history per Yahoo Finance. Last one. And the reason this one was so long, just to clarify, like this one was the longest in history at 35 days. To break 35 days, we'd have to go past Tuesday next week. And again, just to clarify so you understand this, the reason this was not a full shutdown, the 35-day one. It's not the full shutdown, right? The full shutdown would mean they didn't get a deal done before September 30th, and this one dragged on past Christmas, right? And people were on Christmas and holiday break, and so, you know, that delayed it. But they had already gotten a lot of the deals done for budget purposes prior to the shutdown. So it wasn't a full shutdown where it is like it is now, where things are getting dire, you know. It was more so a partial shutdown because like a lot of the deals had already been done, but then still there were some that haven't. And so, you know, all that good stuff. And it only lasted, the reason they say 2018, 2019 is because it lasted from December 22nd to January 25th. But yeah, that's essentially what we got from that. I gave you guys Zcash before. Listen, no offense to you, Zcash might be the greatest asset in history. But if some random dude in my chat room tells me to buy it, I'm not going to buy it. It's not like I'm like, oh, random guy, he says to buy this thing, let me go ahead and buy it right now. Like, that would be the worst financial decision ever. And honestly, that's how people get set up to take, like, that's how people get taken advantage of. NASDAQ turning back down. Again, I'm watching 26,000. You might have been right. And again, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been right about what they tell people to buy on this stream over the years. It doesn't mean we should buy it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean we should buy what they tell us to buy. Would ending the shutdown rally the market? I don't know. It could be buy the rumor, sell the news. Yeah, ECB rates were unchanged as expected. I kind of already knew that. So the ECB European rate decision, same thing as always, as expected for ECB rates. MasterCard CEO says stablecoins are an attractive and growing opportunity for the company's network. If my YouTube name was Random Guy, would my opinions be less impactful? Yes. Government will open November, not now. They know what they're doing. I don't believe in computer money pretty much, but I have a buck in Bitcoin to see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to describe it. I respect that. Hey. Old Faithful in the background lurking. Is gold moving here? Bitcoin's still down. Here's gold. Gold's sideways this morning. It's not doing anything. Japan Finance Minister Katayama says the Bank of Japan decision was extremely reasonable. Yeah, Chipotle down big this morning. Meta's down pretty big too. Meta just cracked lows again. 671.50 now. New low of the day for Meta. Very negative reaction to earnings. My hair is short like John's, but still too long. I don't know, man. I'm torn. I go through stages with my hair. Top 3 greatest hairstyles ever right now. When I was really young, I loved my hair long. I hated getting haircuts. But I would wait so long to get a haircut, my hair would be crazy. And so then, once I got a little bit older, then I wanted it really short. And now I'm at the point where I almost like it longer again. I don't know. Top 3 greatest hairstyles ever. I have curly, fluffy hair. So I'm trying. You know, I'm trying to be reasonable. Maybe I'll just go mohawk. I'm just glad I have hair. Like I said, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. A lot of my friends don't have hair. No. They either don't have hair or they're actively losing their hair. I'm just glad I have hair. People with curly hair are naturally better at jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna say that too. You know, you got Nikki, or you got Nikki Rod. You know, all the people with curly hair I know, they're just really good at jiu-jitsu. So, just gonna put that out there. Definitely biased, but top 3 curly-haired person in the world right now. All right, so again, meta down to 672s here, 672s. Your humbleness is off the charts. I'm the most humble ever, dude. Like I said, humility flows through me like water. I'm like Bruce Lee, but with, instead of martial arts skills, humility. Quote me on that. That's my quote. All right, guys. 26,000. Nasdaq's kind of chopping sideways. Do we continue breakdown towards 26K? Or do we rebound after dropping significantly from microchips mostly this morning? Yeah. Y'all are lucky my hair doesn't look like this right now. No. I'll let it keep going. I get really good at the saxophone. I gotta love AI added the leg brace too. You know? The correct one, too. That's the one I'm in right now. The AI added the leg brace. Love to see it. I don't know what's around my neck here, though. Oh, it's my saxophone. Alright, guys. Meta bouncing back up. It's at 674s. 674s. National debt was 4 trillion in 2007, 38 trillion now. Is that a problem? I mean, yeah, it's a problem. Let's see if Meta holds, though. Meta's sketchy this morning. I usually like buying these pullbacks. Like, one of my swing trading strategies is I'll buy up these dips and I'll hold it. Wait a few days, let it rebound. It might still rebound over the next few days, but Meta's, I don't know. Maybe it's just doing a good job of stopping all the longs out. Yeah, AI gave me a bunch of pictures. I was joking with my kids about this. I told them since my legs hurt, I'm going to get really good at the saxophone and grow my curls out is where these pictures started from. Never played a saxophone day in my life. But, alright, guys. Gold. Close to 4,000 again. Got really close to it this morning. Didn't quite get over it. Bitcoin has been breaking down today. Market open is in about 5 minutes here. We got 5 minutes until the market opens. Again, we had Katayama, the Japanese finance minister, say the Bank of Japan decision was reasonable. We had ECB hold rates steady, pausing rates as expected. Inflation remains close to 2%. Assessment of inflation outlook is broadly unchanged, they said. Tesla scaled back robotaxi timeline, still faces obstacles, according to the information. A couple of earnings reports today. Meta bouncing back to 675 here. No haircuts until the government resumes. Whoa, look at Meta. All right, Meta's got some type of new. Oh no, wait, this is the market on open, is what this is probably. The market on open, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against necessarily a correction, just like an exhaustive correction. I think an exhaustive correction is better than a crash, a big surge up and then a crash. When is Palantir going to correct with its insane valuation? I mean, it did already, but it's almost back up. It's back up higher than it was now. That's at $200 a share for Palantir. I mean, a high valuation, a high PE ratio is what you're referencing. You know, a high PE ratio just means people are optimistic about growth. Maybe it catches up to that growth. I don't know. The margins don't show it yet, though. Yeah, the president speaking. He basically says the top 3 greatest meeting ever. That's what he said. Is that right? Yeah, the market didn't react that well to this meeting, though. Like, we kind of underwhelming. We had an underwhelming reaction to it. And again, my issue is that there's no hard signatures done yet. He could say the meeting went great, and I hope he's right. But we don't have any like deal done technically yet. We got agreements, verbal agreements in the meeting, but we don't have any signatures, and that's a problem. We'll see what happens though. Could be priced in already. That's true. All right, guys. 3 minutes until the opening bell. Let's see what we get. All right, we are green on the day in most of the accounts that we've traded. Let's see if that green dynamic holds here. Bull or bear for the open. Meta coming back down here too. Look at this drop. Nvidia pushing back up. Look at Meta fall. It's a little late for the market on open. I'm trying to see if there's a reason for this news. Wells Fargo Investment Institute upgrades emerging markets equities to neutral from unfavorable. Look at Meta down more, 660s. Meta's dumping down here. Nvidia's popping up here. Is this another announcement of something? Let's see. Andrew Fitzgerald maintains overweight on Meta, lowers price target to 830. Nvidia's moving up while Meta's moving down. I don't see any news either. Maybe just opening bell fluctuations here, though. Jim Kramer says, I know people will sell Starbucks. These people are fools. Speaking of Palantir here, look at Palantir. All right, guys, here we go. Got the opening bell coming in less than a minute. Got a little bounce, small bounce. AMD bouncing as well. Palantir bouncing. Meta's dropping more here, and I don't see any reason for Meta drop, except for maybe Cantor Fitzgerald lowering price target. But I don't think that would move it like that. Never know. Wells Fargo also raised goals 2026 year-end target range to 45 to 4,700 per ounce from 39 to 41 per ounce. All right, guys, opening bell. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're caught up to the stream here. I made hundreds of dollars yesterday. All right, there's the open. Watch Nvidia and Meta. Palantir coming back down. I'm gonna put AMD up maybe. AMD's bouncing. Netflix is rebounding back up, filling some of the gap on the downside. Amazon's dipping down though, right at the opening bell. Look at Amazon. Amazon at 225s. Meta's still dropping a little bit as well at the open. 660s dragging Nasdaq down. Nasdaq's testing lows. Nvidia again at 205s, but getting retraced a little bit back down. Bitcoin still dropping. Amazon's falling. Tech is falling really. Most of it. AMD's doing okay. Yeah, this is some volatility for sure. Look at this drop. Amazon. Look at Amazon right here. If I get out of Bitcoin's way, Bitcoin all the way down here, 108s. I'll also stick myself right here. Maybe it's the green screen. Nasdaq just broke lows of the day, starting to bounce back up. Still too early, but look at Amazon here, guys. Again, Amazon's what I'm seeing that's really falling. And they have their earnings this afternoon. I don't know if this is the crash yet, I would say. Again, I don't know if this is the crash. But Amazon's dropping fast. Meta's cracking lows again. 660.32 Meta low. Gold's what, running up on this? Yeah. The VIX is up too. Gold up to 39.90. Nvidia's kind of flat here though. I don't know if it's just my chart size. Nvidia's not really moving much. This is Meta and Amazon dragging markets down mostly at the opening bell here. I mean, this move is relatively small. We could obviously bounce back here, but is AWS down again, dude? Really? Tell you what, if we get down to 26.27, I might buy that. All right, let's try to buy this. It's kind of close to the bell, isn't it? Yeah. We're going back and forth in this. Oh. There we go. Got it. Close. I'll wait until we break down a little bit. That one. If Meta continues to bounce here. These drops coming through at the opening bell, guys. Nasty drops. Bit of retracement back up. A little bit of something. He'll fight his way back down. Let's see if it bounces back. Yeah, what I don't like right here though is Nvidia. There we go. We actually got back in this one. Oh, we're pretty green now. I'll hold the rest break even, but I want to see if it bounces back more. I might add to it too if it gets back up there. There we go. I'll add it here. Retrace back down. I'll cut it. There we go. I'm gonna cut that piece off there. See if we can popping up. Yeah, I mean we're up. I'm gonna cut it right there. We're up hundreds on the day right now, or we're up close to that. Again, Amazon bouncing back. Gold coming back down. Look at Nvidia fall though. Nvidia back down to 203s. Meta looks like it wants to bounce. Amazon is bouncing. Somehow we're green on the day. I feel like I've been losing more than I'm winning, but somehow I'm green. Okay. Again, I'm going to target this 27,000 level I have on my chart here. Did we get down there? Not quite. All right, there it is. We're gonna buy this. There we go. Gonna take a piece off up there. Got to bounce exactly at that level. We'll take another piece off here too. And we're out. Scalping these bounces right now. That's kind of what I need. 26,000 is going to be a better buy though. If we get down there for me. Look at that level right here. Top 3 greatest level ever. Somehow did that. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. You want to check it out. Great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money, guys, so it doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, you're probably going to lose it. It makes sense to limit your risk through a funded account program versus funding thousands of dollars into your own account. Nonsense. I lost thousands. Most day traders lose thousands. Limit your risk. Learn without the burn. Try Top Step. They're a sponsor of mine. It's only my second plug in like 3 hours. And so, understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Genuinely useful for traders, though. NASDAQ is breaking down here. Here's 26,000 that I said I would buy. We'll try to buy 26K right here. All right, we're in 26,000. We're gonna risk it for the stream, but man, that's a big break. Yeah, I gotta start to cover the position. Yikes! Look at this drop. We're still green on. That's a big flush under 20,000 here, guys. The question is, do we rebound and reject in that? This is a big drop right now, guys. Honestly, leading it. Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys the story of the day right now. Today, markets are down. This is leading into Apple and Amazon earnings today, right? If we drop leading into those earnings and then those earnings are bad, we could get a much, much larger drop. Just put this in perspective. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. We got Apple and Amazon. Amazon and Apple, heavily weighted Mag 7 stocks. You know, and we're getting pullback and everything. It's mostly driven by NVIDIA and other microchip stocks, though. All right. I think I've traded this account. Every time I say that, I end up buying it again. But man, the drop's not stopping here. Bears are winning so far for sure right now. Guidance was okay. I think Meta had like, it was like 1 something EPS versus 6 something expected. The reason they said they missed it by that big of a margin is because they had like a $15 billion one-time charge. Still, traders didn't like it, reacted negatively, and look at the NASDAQ flush here this morning at the opening bell. We are flushing fast too. Again, this is mostly from NVIDIA, guys. NVIDIA opened the day 207s. We're back down to 202s. That's a $5 drop in NVIDIA. You know what I mean? So, not a small drop. So that's roughly a 2.5% drop in NVIDIA since the opening bell. 2% maybe. That's not a small drop for NVIDIA since the opening bell. NVIDIA's coming all the way back down. So a trade deal has already kind of been announced. Both U.S. and China both U.S. and China presidents met in South Korea. And they basically got a deal done, although... Yeah, one of the things that we didn't hear from... Now, there's optimism in chips through rare earths. The export of rare earths. And so, there's optimism on that front. But one of the things we didn't see is China easing some of their export restrictions or easing some of their restrictions on American-made chips. right? And maybe that's causing some pessimism in the chip market. But the rare earths deal was basically done, which is good. You know, essentially, rare earth dispute declared settled. You know, that should give optimism in chips. Maybe it's buy the rumor, sell the news. Yeah, we got Coinbase earnings. We got Amazon, Apple earnings. Palantir's down since the open, bouncing back short term. Nasdaq just cracked lows again, and again we're under 26,000. A lot of red. Since the opening bell, guys, we have had we've had how many red candles? We've only had one green candle in 11 minutes. The opening bell. 1 minute chart. We're bouncing back here. Somehow I'm green on every account on the day too. I did make my money back in the other account. Things been wild. I don't know, man. Look at this dip here. Been some movement. The good news is at the very least, even if the government doesn't reopen, we at the very least have some government, or we have some economic reports. We got the ADP weekly employment report coming out at 8:15 Tuesday morning. We got the ADP non-farm employment change, the monthly report coming out 8:15 Wednesday. So we actually have some economic data leading into next week. Now, remember, next week we're supposed to get another labor report on the 7th. It's not looking likely for that to come out here. Like, it's not looking like we're going to get that unless the government resumes. Repo market scared me. Sold a lot yesterday. Bought 3x leverage shorts on MicroStrategy, semiconductors, ETH. Bought the silver dip. No regrets. No regrets, bro. No regrets, dude. Good luck to you, sir. This drop isn't like the biggest drop ever. Like, we could obviously rebound back from it. It's just looking a little scary after the FOMC meeting leading into big tech today. But this is not the Look, my mic doesn't pick up because of the green screen. Thank you for the donation, brother. eBay shares down. Merck CEO says looking for deals in 1 billion to 15 billion range. Oh, you shorted MicroStrategy. I mean, it's up on the day right now. Or no, it's down on the day, I mean, so you're probably up in the... Probably green in this. So you shorted semiconductors, MicroStrategy, ETH, and bought silver? Silver's green. I mean, all that stuff should be green right now based off of the market action we've seen right now. You know, I was really thinking about shorting this 25,000 or this 26,000 level right here. Should I have shorted that level? Look, in hindsight, big psychological level. Top 3 maddest ever right now. I didn't short it like I wanted to. I talked about shorting it too. Boo this man. By this man, I mean me. I didn't short it. I almost forgot this channel covers economic data. Oh, those are my roots. Not really. My roots are like day trading penny stocks where I did horribly. Then I said, this sucks. Let me learn about economics. And that's basically what happened. In a really simplified way. Yeah, ISM's reported. Institute of Supply Management. ISM data, PMI data is coming out. not saying we can't correct, but that economic tailwinds are too strong right now, and with quantitative tightening stopping with rate cuts and early reaccelerating into the wider economy and earnings reaccelerating. They didn't make a deal. They made a deal. It's not a hard deal. Like, we don't have signatures, but it's a. I think they verbally agreed to it. Bassett said the signatures should come early next week. We'll see. All right, here's 26,000 again. I'm not really going to target the retest of it. So. All right, we're back up to 26,000. Again, I don't like the retest just because the retest is where you could start to see rebounds. Bitcoin's down to 107s now, guys. 107s for Bitcoin. I mean, Microsoft dropped with their earnings number beat. Well, a lot of these had high capex. And Microsoft's earnings beat was very slight. So probably just baked in already. Alright, here's the rebound coming in here. Leave my level here rejects it. 25s, 7s, 26s. Really, right around here. I'd say it's 25 even. There's probably where we're going to get one if we get one. 26, 25 even, that is. Let's see. Maybe not. Right above it. Are we in the wake of a rebound here, guys? Markets are bouncing back some. Yeah, at all my funded accounts, I have thousands in profit locked in. I could withdraw. Should I withdraw? I don't know. You guys like the green screen? I like it a little bit more, I think, with this. I like the green screen a little bit more. It allows you to see more charts. Again, Meta down over 12% this morning. All right, NASDAQ bouncing back here. We're at 26,000 at 31s. Get a Neo robot? What do you mean? You mean Keanu Reeves? Or is there a different Neo I'm thinking about? All right, NASDAQ bouncing back here. We're at 26,060 here. Again, NVIDIA bouncing back, Meta bouncing back. Looks good except for the mic. I could change the mic. I think I should probably change the mic today, actually. Let me see. This is actually red right now, but it's yellow. Let me see which way will make it look red on stream. Blue. Okay. Whatever. Orange. Right now it's orange. NASDAQ still ripping back up. 26,060. Almost gained all the way back up from the losses it made. Can you say something about Meta? I bought the dip in Meta and then cut it. In hindsight, I should have held it. Same swing trading strategy I've used for years. I think I got in with too large a size originally and had to kind of, you know, the swings were too much at the open, so I ended up cutting it. A small loss, but still. I wouldn't say the earnings yesterday were good. Meta's was definitely not good. Meta missed EPS by a huge amount. Now, it was a one-time $15 billion write-off. Oh my gosh, they're talking in this music. Why? I gotta go find the song and where we're at so I don't backtrack here. Thought this was instrumentals. Beautiful V-shaped recovery. Yeah, it's looking strong. Nasdaq coming back up. Lagarde's speaking again. President's National Guard DC deployment is extended into next year as well. That's what I'm hearing? Yeah, Lagarde said inflation outlook assessment is broadly unchanged regarding European Central Bank. Short's getting squeezed out now, guys. Bitcoin back up to 108,000. I don't know what to do with this. We're right back up to the top of the range here. I could buy it. Got a big surge. There we go. Did buy it. Profit already. I'm still trying to ride this back up, but it's looking a little worse now. Show you this account. We're up 28 ticks. The range is wild right now, though. We'll try to cover this break even, but I want to let it run a little bit more. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm gonna cut it right there. All right, we're doing very good again today. Thanks to yourself for shorting earlier. I mean, I shorted some. I also bought a lot. I'm green on every account that I have today, to be honest. So whatever I did worked. Again, key suppliers for NVIDIA have already sold out of AI memory chips for 2025 this year. Cantor Fitzgerald maintains Meta platforms overrate. SK Hynix and Samsung are racing to expand bandwidth memory production. Sparked boom for South Korea's chip giants, propelling SK Hynix to a record profit and pushing Samsung to sell out its next-gen high bandwidth memory. Again, Nasdaq's getting back to right where it was at the opening bell, though. A lot of stuff's rebounding here. I should have held it NVIDIA. And again, just to show you guys my stats day trading today. We're doing pretty good. Again, here's one account. It's the 23rd. This is a week. Had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green days in a row. Here's the second account, and this was one that we're really green on today. Had 4 or 5 green days. Today's doing good. Third account. Four out of 4 green days. It's been one of those weeks where we're just doing really good. And the final account. 4 out of 4 green days. So, green at everything today. See if that continues. Nasdaq's still pushing up. What's your strategy? Usually my strategy is a mix of like buying at psychological levels is what I try to do. Like here's 150 in the 200 exponential, so that could reject it short term. I'm kind of scalping these moves, so I'm only looking for like a small profit. Yeah, like here's 100, there's 150. And so I look for the range, like short here, 150. Look for a range down to another psychological level. add to it if I'm green. And just attack the range, you know, like again, psychological levels here, psychological levels here, and the 200 exponential. So I'm just looking for small windows of profit like that around big levels, looking to mostly attack trends, but also momentum and extension is kind of what I'm doing. Hope that makes sense. Again, Amazon's ripping back up into this earnings report. Again, check out Top Step. You want to help support the channel. No PDT and futures. Best way to learn. Again, best way to learn. I'll put the link up again if you want to check it out. Here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. No PDT rule. Amazon's still ripping up. Nvidia's starting to fade back down, though. Look at Nvidia here. You guys red or green this week? We know. Get Apple, Google earnings today. Or Apple, Amazon earnings. I mean, not Apple. Apple, Amazon. We're starting to fade back down. Again, Nvidia just popped a little bit here. Lagarde's still speaking regarding the European Central Bank. They said must rapidly adopt digital euro regulations. $151s here. Hey, I need 9 subscribers to break 167. 9. Listen, 700 plus of you guys here. Some of you guys haven't subscribed yet. You know you want to. Just try it once. Might feel good. Top 3 unsubscribed ever. Green for the year. If we in green, I'm praying to green tech, shiny offset, little regret. Now buying stocks. I know you mean the microchip ETF, SOXS. Meta coming back down though, guys. Nasdaq's starting to chop here. It's 10 o'clock now. No data today again. We haven't got data. Lagarde speaking. All right, Nasdaq flying back up. Looks like on maybe a catalyst here. Nvidia back up to 205s. AMD back up. Okay, so according to Fox, they said not to expect another test vote today to break a filibuster on the GOP spending bill. Senate likely to leave town this afternoon for the weekend. So no deal done today. Boo. Figure it out, guys. I'm not even picking sides. Just figure this out. Yeah, gold. I don't know. Gold, you gotta just trade small, is what I've learned. Like gold can wildly move. Wildly move. All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Listen, as soon as I close the Lagarde speaking. As soon as I close the stream, it's immediately gonna bring you to the earnings stream we're doing this afternoon. So as soon as we close the stream, it's immediately gonna bring you to this afternoon stream. Be ready. We will be streaming that live as soon as it happens. Stick around. See you guys over there. And yeah, be ready. Wait, actually, I got to schedule the stream for the wrong time real quick. Hold on, let me make sure it's the right time. There we go. All right, guys. Hey, I'll see you guys over there. Y'all be safe today. I miss economic data. It's for selfish reasons. I don't really care about the government. Honestly, I don't. Outside of that, I don't notice much difference. But I hope they get a deal done so I can cover economic data again because it's more boring. Hey, I'll see you guys over there. Again, as soon as I close the stream, it'll bring you there. Y'all be safe. I'll see you guys in a few hours. Y'all be good. Again, remember, not an investment professional. Green on every account we've traded today. Green is good. I'll see you guys in a few hours. Y'all be safe.